G'day, my name's Daryl, but they call me Slim. I run a business called Slimline Rural Fencing. What I want to do today is take you through the different materials available for fencing. Also, we'll look at the erection times for those different materials and how those different materials suit different conditions, different ground conditions, different environmental conditions, and a little bit of the an environmental look at the whole show. What I'm going to do is break it up into 3 sections. First will be strainer posts with the stays. Second video will be posts, different posts available and different reasons we use them. And the third section will be different wires we use, different wires that can be used and the different reasons why we use them. And there are other things, other details that we can go into later. Maybe they are questions that need to be asked. So what I want to do is also make a statement that this is my opinion to date. This is what I've learnt from feedback from clients. This is what I time every action I do. I look at safety. I look at a cost-effective method of supplying my client the best fence I can. So what I'll do, before I tell you why not to use some material, I'll show you what I do use and what I do like. This here is 80mm nominal bore, galvanised inside and out. Now what I have here next to it is actually 100mm stuff. I think it's 90mm, 100mm outside, but that's just for a bigger job. What I cut them at is 2.6 metres. So in trying to get between 1150mm and 1250 out of the ground, depending if we're swinging a gate and what our client's preference is or their stock need is. So roughly 1200 out puts us 1400 in, thereabouts. Now in soils where we hit clay or we hit rock, that's the length of the post we need. Mind you, for the wiser of you, 1400mm is 4.5 feet. I like that. I really like that. It's a little bit deeper than most products around, but I'll just show you. If we are in the Wimmera soils or some deeper soils, I cut my post a little bit longer at 3.2. So I'll show you this. We cut these posts a little bit longer. The standard reach is where that yellow line is. That would be a standard post in most conditions. And that is inserted until that reaches here and we stop it. In different situations where we need to find clay, and it's very important that we do find some clay at the bottom, it's terrific, we'll use a longer post like this. Now the other thing I want to say is a slightly longer post than the post that may be pulled out, say on a corner, boundary or at a gate where we can't really move the gate because we might have a gate on the other side. We pull an old post out, it might be burnt out, we're replacing a rotten post, we remove it, we've got a hole that's 3 to 4 feet, 900 to 1200 deep. It's really nice to have a bit of extra post at the bottom. It goes into the bottom into solid virgin earth. Then we can fill it up with a bit of dirt, a little bit around with a crowbar, and the preference is we might use concrete at the top, or we just get on the crowbar, make it nice and firm for 8 to 10 inches at the top. You get a very, very strong solid post. And the nice thing about this, you can move it round in a larger hole to line it up with the post, with the fence that's there. Now, I adapted this style of thing from a product that Waratah have. They make a post, and I need to say at this stage, I really like the company Waratah. They have some good product, but their 2.1 metre post, which you buy off the shelf, it really only goes in the ground 900mm. And while that's sufficient in some areas, my insurance, my warranty comes by putting it a little bit deeper. And the thing is, I can actually supply and install, most times, this post deeper in the ground with for the same money. That's my preference. I also their posts, they come with a plastic cap. I don't think I'm bagging them, I'm just trying to give you better. They come with a plastic cap which I've seen cows knock off, so I supply a metal cap that keeps the weather out, and well, it's going to be there for a long time. What we're going to do now is I'll just cross to a little video of installing one of these Waratah posts. Get a load of it, they're a great product, and that's where I've got the idea. I've just improved on it. So we will cross now to a job I prepared earlier. Those posts go in pretty easy, and while we'll insert my style of post a little bit further, 8 minutes, unless you get hard going, it doesn't take long to install them. And you see that we do not have to dig a hole beforehand. We just push them in the ground as far as we need to, as long as we get to clay. Or in the other case, what happens sometimes, if we hit rock, it's a bit of a problem. We just keep going until it beds in, and then we can cut the posts off. And I haven't had a post move as long as we get at least 3 feet in the ground before we hit rock. What happens with my machine, as you can see, it's a pretty handy machine. It just pushes those things in the ground, rams them in. Small floating football sized rocks are just pushed out of the way. Whereas in comparison, our other products, both wood and concrete, which we'll talk about, we need to pre-drill a hole. Now what happens if we're drilling a hole for concrete or wood and we hit rock? We have to move the machine. It's just it's a cost, it's an extra cost to the client that we as contractors have to push on. So in using the steel product, I prefer less likelihood that it's going to be more difficult to put in. Concerning wood, I actually I'm off a farm, quite a good farm in the Wimmera, and I was a teenager when my grandfather taught me to build a box section, a wooden box section. As far as I was concerned, when I started fencing, that was the go. That was all we built. That's what Grandpa taught me, and I'm really proud of the box sections I build. They're strong, they look good, they're reasonably well priced, and I can't help but have a good feeling when I'm proud of my work.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in, just let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in.
The problem is, with box sections made of wood, we move into a fire ground and the wooden box section's been burnt out, we go replacing it with wood. The feedback I've got is that clients really appreciate something that's not going to burn again. And most of my steel assemblies with the stay, which we'll talk about in a minute, actually come in just under the cost of a box section. So bear that in mind. Now concrete strainer posts are square that I've come across, square peg, round hole. I didn't do well at school, but I passed that in kindergarten. Yet I persist if using concrete to put a square peg in a round hole. We manage, but they are very heavy. If we've got to put them in hills, they're cumbersome, they're even dangerous. They take up a lot of room and weight in a trailer or a truck in delivery. They're around the same cost to buy, but they can be 2 to 3 times more a dear, or should be, to install. I have had a client say that he doesn't like using concrete in salt affected areas because he feels the salt will affect the metal in it, and that's the other thing. Steel strainers are not preferred in high salt areas because you will get corrosion. So what we do is we'll have to look at wood or an alternative solution. The thing is about concrete too, every dollar I've made putting a concrete post in, I've spent on drugs, I've ended up in hospital, I've had a ride in the ambulance because of lifting concrete. I do lift heavy things, but I'm not going to be able to do it for long if I keep using concrete. My preference is these are lightweight, they're about the same weight, most of the time these steel are about the same weight as wood, and that's fine. But as you can see with wood, box section, there are 2 holes to drill, there are 2 posts to put in. Proud of them, but I think this is a better option. So righto, then we come to stays. What we have here is a stay assembly I've adapted. A bloke called Pete from Slimline Solutions, a very clever contractor, has developed this system. It's a stay block with a piece of pipe at the top and a fitting that we drill into the post. And I'll make an adjustable wire down here. We put 3 laps of wire around here. I'm going to do some interesting things where I can knock this special knot along here and it tightens the wire. I like this. It comes to about the same price of another product I'm going to tell you about. Waratah make what they call an adjuster stay. Now this is adjustable, but their adjuster stays have a plastic pad at the end and a piece of all thread through the centre. Very adjustable. Brilliant product. I do like them, but they are dearer. The fact is they take about 6 minutes to fit and they can be refitted. These come in cheap enough, they take me 20 minutes to fit, they're about the same price. You choose what you want. I suppose I like to get paid for an extra 20 minutes work and put my own signature on it. Thank you Waratah, you're a brilliant product, but we like to have a little bit of control over what we do too sometimes. So yeah, that about rounds it up. There's questions you can ask, give me a call. We have a stay block system or Waratah adjuster stay. Thank you.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in, just let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in.